let's do this. Skinamarink, here we go.
In this house. In this house.
Nah. Two children wake up in the middle of the night to find their father is missing, and all the windows and doors in their home have vanished. Now, I first heard of Skinamarink with the trailer that was released. In my opinion, that's one of the best trailers I've seen in quite some time. I love trailers that give you the idea of what the film is about, not what it is about, if that makes any sense. Today's trailers, especially the Ant-Man versus the Quantum Universe, whatever the hell that is, in my opinion, if you've seen that second trailer, it gave away way too much of the story and what's going to happen. And on the other side of that pendulum, you have Skinamarink, where it doesn't give you anything. It just gives you the feel and the idea of what you're about to go see. And that's what captivated me about that trailer. And I want more trailers like that. So FYI, film directors out there who are watching this, give us more vague trailers like that. I love it. And before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video and leave some comments down below. I am very interested to hear what you have to say about this film, because it is so subjective, like a painting. You can have 50 people go see this movie, and so many people are going to walk away with a different interpretation. One thing I quickly noticed about the film is that, again, it's from a child's perspective. So you notice a lot of the angles of each frame of the film correlate to a child's viewpoint of the world, either high, very low. And the film, more or less, and I've heard many people describe it, is a child's nightmare. This is a child's nightmare on film. Think about it. Put your mindset as you were a kid. Well, what's safe to you? Where are your parents? Your parents bring you safety. Your home, your room, watching cartoons, that all gives you a safe space, a safe feeling. And this movie gives you all those areas, but in a darkly lit, odd angled point of view. Now, as I mentioned, this film does feel like a child's nightmare, so don't expect a traditional 3-part story. There are no arcs. There are just two children whom you've never seen. The only angles you get of these kids are maybe their feet, the back of their heads, but I don't know what these kids look like. So don't expect any traditional character arcs. These are just children who are scared of not knowing where their parents are at, and they're finding ways to keep themselves comfortable, like going and sleeping in the living room, watching cartoons, and getting a juice box and playing with Legos. So again, the film is heavily centered from a child's mind and point of view. Without giving too much of the story away, there are events and some dialogue that kind of give you an idea of what's happened to the parents and what is happening to the kids. There's also some subtitles within the film that help guide us, the listener, to what's going on. And I'm glad they did that, but I'm also a little disappointed that the subtitles were not consistent, because toward the end of the film, toward its climax, there are some whispers that are said that in some conversations the child is having where the subtext was not there, subtitles were not there, excuse me. And it was very frustrating because I was just at the edge of my seat trying to understand what was going on. And what adds to the difficulty is the analog soundtrack. It sounds like the audio was recorded off a record. And I know it's done that way stylistically, but with the grain and the audio, it was really difficult to make out what was happening. So that contributed to my frustrations at the end of the film, not really knowing what those conversations were toward the end. And like I've said already, this movie is from a child's point of view. It is a child's nightmare. So toys that we played with as kids, viewing them in the dark, look nightmarish and almost demonic. And it's terrifying. And then when there's light given to the scene, you actually see it's a toy that we've all played with. So I love how he turns the innocence of your childhood, the safety of your bedroom, and turns it upside down into a nightmare. Again, the film is about 80 minutes long, and in my opinion, yeah, there could have been 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes cut from the film, because a lot of the movie, I'd say 90% of the film, there is no dialogue. All you see is the atmosphere. And sometimes you see a certain angle, a certain room, a certain door many times, and it gets kind of repetitive. And to be honest, it tried my patience at a few moments, and sometimes he has the camera pan toward a hallway where the hallway's dark and you cannot see what's at the end of the hallway. But I noticed my mind was playing tricks on me. I kept thinking, is there somebody standing at the end of the hallway? And your brain's fighting that challenge throughout the entire film. He's like, is he the director put something there? I see something. I don't know, but I think that's what he intentionally tried to do because that's what we do as children. Again, keep in mind, this film does not going to answer all your questions. It's going to leave a lot to the imagination. It's very subjective. So again, if you're somebody who wants all your questions answered and to leave a film like with it's a peace of mind knowing what had happened, this is not going to be for you. This is going to be very subjective, and it ends in a very unsettling way, especially with the child's looking at. So again, also trigger warning. If you have a tender spot in your heart hearing kids in pain and being scared or being put through tough situations, you may not want to see this film. But again, I loved it. Now, again, this movie, I assure you, is not going to be for everybody. I know if this was a major release and released on a Friday night, people would be making fun of it. People would be leaving. As a matter of fact, there were a group of 4 teenage kids, I'd say between 15 and 16, who went and saw the film, and they were just messing around and they left because they were so bored. So this film is not going to be for everybody. It is a very artsy film. And you know what? I will say this. Skinamarink, I appreciate what they did here. And I will support this film. That's why I went and saw it at a local theater. I wanted to give the crew and the director my money for giving us something that's completely different. I would take 50 Skinamarink versus another Ant-Man movie, because that is over the top. We're bored of that. We want something new. And if this is just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg of what other filmmakers are giving us, I am all for that. Give us more of Skinamarink. Again, I like the film. I didn't love it. I will watch it again just to kind of capture more of what maybe I missed. But I want more originality like this. I want more trailers like Skinamarink. So give us more products like this, and you will have my money. Well, that's my review for Skinamarink. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave some comments down below. I want to hear your feedback on this film. I know some loved it, some hated it. I definitely want to hear back. Put some comments below. Also, like the video, and if you'd like to be a Patreon, I have a Patreon link down below. Not only does your support help this channel, but also helps my other YouTube channel, my podcast, and my other accounts on social media. So please, if you'd like to support everything I do, all my endeavors, I would appreciate it. Thank you for watching Gen X Reviews. I will see you next time. Take care.